Hello, everyone. Welcome to this series where we talk about financial planning for women. Today, we are going to talk about debt management, budgeting, and saving. Before we start, a quick disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor by training. Any information that's shared here is based on my research and understanding, and it's for education purpose only. This is not a financial advice. If you have a situation and need a specific financial advisor, do consult a professional advisor. With that, let's let's start. We talked about the importance of financial planning, different challenges that women face, and how to factor them in first session, wherein we did the overview of financial planning. In the next session, we talked about current financial landscape, where we started creating a financial dashboard for an individual in 6 steps. The third session was focused on creating a financial goals. So we talked about three types of financial goals: short term, medium term, and long term. How do they change based on the specific age or a family need? And while we are working and creating this list and dividing them into three different categories and prioritizing them based on age and family needs, we are going to touch upon a different topic, which is debt management. Once we complete this topic, we will start going towards a financial planning based on for the created goals and the implementation strategy. So let's dive in today's topic, which is a debt management. Managing debt effectively, which is a key for building a long-term financial health. Whether it's a credit card balance, student loans, or personal loans, having a clear strategy for repayment helps you to regain a control and reduce the financial stress. So the first point is saving. We would try to understand how much we save and how much amount can be diverted towards the debt payment. How to understand the amount that we are saving? We have discussed this topic in our second session, which is financial plan assessment, current financial assessment. I would advise you to do visit that session and do this assessment for yourself. The next is debt payment. We have also covered this topic in our second session. We started creating the list of debts and different kind of debts that we have. I would also request you to go and visit that session for further details. But just to continue with this discussion, I'll briefly review that point again here. So what we did is we started listing out different kind of debts that we have. It would be an education loan, credit card loan, home loan, or personal loan for vehicles or anything else that you desired for. Once we create this list, we started putting the total amount that we have owed against each of this category. In the next column, we started listing the interest rates that we have on these categories, the minimum monthly payment that we send against each of these categories or EMIs. We start listing them out in the next column. And in the last column, we started listing out, are we doing a timely payment against these categories, or we are paying any additional penalties due to the um, missing timelines. So as we have created this list um, with us, we start rearranging this list based on the percentage interest. So the percentage interest, when it is highest, like 36 to 40%, which is credit card interest generally, the next would be a home loan interest, which is 12 to 15%. The next would be a student loan, which is 8 to 6%. It would differ country to country and location to location. But what I'm trying to do here is arranging this list based on the highest percentage in descending order. Once we arrange this list in this fashion, what it will tell us is what we owe and what is costing us the most. So in this case, credit card loan is costing us the most. The second step would be a repayment strategy. There are two different strategies that are available for the repayment. There are a lot of strategies discussed out there. These two strategies stick with me. One is avalanche method, and next is the snowball method. Avalanche method, wherein we repay the debt which has a highest interest or costing us the more. This would help us to reduce the burden that debt bringing us in our financial plan. In the snowball effect, you would pay a debt which has a lowest amount. For example, you would do the similar kind of activity for the total amount column. So lowest amount debt would be paid first. It can be your EMI for your gadget, or it can be any electrical equipment like fridge or TV or anything else. Anything which is below 50,000 INR or 1 lakh INR would fall into this category. But I would leave this selection of strategy to the individuals. They can select based on their requirement which strategy suits them the best. The third step in this journey would be consolidate and refine. I would ask you to talk to your lender or bank service provider and try to consolidate two different kinds of loans together into a one loan which has a lowest interest rate. This would help you to simplify your payments and reduce the cost overall. The fourth step would be automate the payments. This can be done with simple bank account steps. If you are not aware how to do it, you can talk to your relationship manager or bank service provider and they would help you to do this. This will avoid missing on the EMIs and paying the late fees, and it will also protect your credit score. The fifth step that we would do is cutting the expenses and paying the debts. So we would cut the expenses based on the assessment that we did in the second session. Anything that is unused subscription, luxury buying, etc., would be cut down for a few months, and then that amount can be diverted towards the debt payment. It can be a small amount like 1000K as well. That helps. The sixth step in this process would be negotiating the lower interest rate. There is an option of negotiation of interest rate with the service provider. If you're not aware of this, do ask your service provider, and before going, just try to understand the credit score that you have. This value, if it is positive, it will help you to negotiate better and get the good lower interest rates that is possible out there. The seventh step that we are going to look into is avoiding any new debt. So while we are doing and managing the debt that we already have, try to avoid any new debt situation till you get your debt situation under in a manageable situation. The eighth strategy is using the windfalls properly. A windfalls is nothing but a bonuses or tax refunds or any gift payments that you receive. If you divert these towards the debt payment and small amount to saving, this would help you into a long term for financial journey. The last but not the least, which is very important step in this financial journey, is ninth step. If after all of this discussion, if you still feel that your debt management is out of hand and needs more financial advice, do go and seek this help from the proper trained professionals. Be cautious, there are shady companies that charge high fees upfront, but there are good people and trained professional available there who would help you to solve this debt situation. In summary, make a complete of your debts. Choose the strategy, avalanche, snowball, or any other strategy that suits to your purpose. Cut the cost and direct the savings to the debt payments. Consolidate and refine your loans. Talk to your bank provider for lower interest rates. Stay consistent and avoid creating any new dates or taking any new dates on your plate. I would also try like to mention here, paying debt is very important, but if you don't have a crisis situation with you, do divert a small amount to your savings from your savings towards the long term and medium term goals. There is a golden rule called as 70-20-10 rule, wherein 70% is going towards your lifestyle and day-to-day expenses, 20% is going towards your debt payment, and 10% is going towards your saving accounts. Automate both, even the debt payment as well as your investment towards your goals. Use your windfalls very wisely, and in windfalls also we can use a different kind of percentage strategies, like 50% would go into your debt payment out of the bonus that you receive, for example. 30% would go towards the savings, and 20% would go towards the fun or the entertainment or anything that you like to do with this money. I'm going to reiterate a golden rule at the end. Don't completely pause your savings while you are paying off your debt unless it's a critical or crisis level debt. Even a small amount towards the savings and your long term or mid term goals will protect your financial future. With this, we will continue our discussion in next session, wherein we will talk about a different implementation strategy to achieve your short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals and start your personalized financial plan. I'll encourage you to consider your family needs and your partner's opinion in this financial journey to make it more supportive and accountable. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Happy learning.